Now, the US Supreme Court has heard arguments in a case that could decide whether Donald Trump is eligible to run for president. It must consider a ruling by Colorado's top court, which deemed that Mr. Trump could not run in that state's primary because of his actions during the assault on the Capitol on January the 6th of 2021. That said, it amounted to insurrection. Well, our Washington correspondent is Gary O'Donoghue. He told me what the court will be looking at.
Yeah, it is. I mean, there's various complex aspects to it, and there are definitions involved about whether the president is an officer of the United States and whether or not a state can kind of execute this clause or whether it has to be Congress that does it. And all those issues were chewed over a period of 2 hours this morning with the counsel for Colorado and indeed the counsel for Donald Trump and these 9 Supreme Court justices asking a whole barrage of questions. I have to say that from the tenor of the questioning, there was a lot more hostility towards Colorado's case than perhaps there was towards Donald Trump's counsel. And while we can't sort of be sure about that, I think that would indicate the way this court might be going. And they may, I think, in the end, not uphold this ban. Partly, in fact, because I think they think it's not up to one state, or that was the impression they gave, not up to one state to decide for the rest of the country who gets to run for president.
And we've also seen those warnings, haven't we, as well, that from both attorneys general and many states saying that actually taking him off the ballot would, quote, unleash chaos across America. And that will also be front and centre in their decision making, perhaps not legally, but they will have an eye on what could happen if they did decide to ban him from running.
Yeah, as someone put it this morning, you know, banning an insurrectionist might cause an insurrection. That's something that people are certainly frightened about. And the court also didn't really get into the question of whether the facts established the fact that Donald Trump was an insurrectionist. That is something that Colorado has asserted effectively as a way of keeping him off the ballot. They don't want to go anywhere near that. They're looking for what's termed in this country a bit of an off-ramp. And they have that in terms of Congress. They can suggest that it's really only for Congress to decide these matters, that they should pass laws if they want to do that. And that would avoid them having to take a view on Donald Trump's actions on January the 6th, 2021.
Gary O'Donoghue there in Washington. It's worth saying there will be no ruling today. The justice is not saying when they will decide. Stay with us. Headlines coming up for you very shortly.